Welcome to the Jeff Canada Show. But if you're going to get your feelings hurt, you might need to turn this shit off.
Welcome to another episode of the wonderful, fantastic, riveting, world famous 12 people watch it a week Jeff Canada Show.
12 people, 13 next week.
13 next week. I have one of my like my good friends, big little brother. I think he's joining me, Chad Cooke from the Chad Cooke Band in the fucking house.
What's up, brother? Good to see you, Jeff. It's been too long. I haven't seen you in person in a while. It's been like It's been months.
I think the last time I saw y'all, was it right after I broke up with the devil?
I think it was. Yeah, that's probably
January.
It's what was it? January?
Has it been a year?
It's been. I think it's been about that. No. I think we saw you somewhere, but
I think I stopped in somewhere.
I think
else.
you stopped in at maybe Rowdy's or something.
Yeah, I can't remember. Every time you guys are anywhere close to me, I come out. Like one night I was playing at the Dirty South down in Angleton, and y'all were doing like this thing with Randall King, and I left Angleton. I like hauled ass over to hang out with y'all afterwards.
Yeah,
like every time y'all are around, I come hang out with you guys, man. Y'all are like one of the most fun bands to hang around with, I think. And you know what it is, man? It's y'all haven't let the shittiness of this industry infect y'all the time y'all have when y'all are out in public.
I appreciate you saying that, and
it's instead of me.
I mean, some people allow that to happen, but man, we just like to have a good time, man. You know us, like we just like to hang out with our friends, have a good time on stage, get off stage, hang out until 4:00 in the morning, and then do the same thing the next night. So, anytime we get to see you, brother, it's always good. So thank you for having me hop on the Jeff Canada Show today, man. It's awesome.
Well, I kind of owe you a huge apology because one day I drove out and we did like this 3-hour episode, and then I just never posted it because it was just like, man, I don't know that I want to do this podcast thing anymore. Just with how long it took to edit it and I felt like I was kind of becoming like this, like regurgitating the same shit over and over and over and over and over. And I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? So, but now I'm like in a good, clear space. I've been going to therapy. You know what I mean? I've done some mushrooms a little bit and kind of got recentered.
That'll reset you.
Yeah. And, I got back with my ex-old lady, which is cool, my youngest kid's mom. And so I got a job. I got a fucking job, a cool job that I like a lot. So
everything's just going full circle, coming back around.
Yeah. So now, like, I played last night. I played a show last night, and I had so much fun. There was nobody even there, and I had so much fun because it was like, I don't have to be doing this.
Yeah,
I don't have to, So
right, it's a lot less stress. Sounds a lot like less stressful for sure.
Well, it's I was trying to explain it to somebody the other day, but it's like you're playing a gig, right, and you're making $300, right, and you're looking at it, and it's like, all right, my light bill's $340, so all of this money's going to that light bill. And then I have to make $40 in tips at least so I can cover the rest of it. And that's how you're kind of thinking about it. Well, and now it's like, no, my bills are paid for my job. And now every time I'm on a stage, it's 100% profit. All of that money is going to the studio. You know what I mean? So it's like, it makes you, it doesn't feel so much like a job, and it's more fun, if that makes sense.
No, 100% makes sense. I mean, like that's something every musician kind of struggles with and we do too. I mean, making ends meet, playing music, and dude, it's getting harder and harder these days. I mean, with everything going, whether it's AI or whether it's just venues closing left and right, it's just and then dude, everything's so oversaturated. Which I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, anybody who wants to play music, and get a band together, go on the road, and you and your buddies, and that's the way you should live life, especially in your early days, man, 20s and stuff like that. And but man, you get older. I mean, hell, I'm 37 years old now. Been touring for the past 10 years, and then man, it's just getting rougher, on the road, and when, like I said, when the venues start closing and all that stuff kind of starts snowballing downhill. It's a different industry than it's ever been, man. I mean, especially in the past, like I would say like 5 years since COVID happened, really, everything is just it's been way different, way different.
Yeah. Yeah, and also, like, the traditional avenues of making fans that doesn't work anymore, and so you have to get on here, and you have to do these things, and you have to create content, and then they're changing those algorithms daily, so as soon as you figure something out, they change it, and then it's I was talking to Peyton Howie's mom today on the phone, and I was just like, just the rat race in general is not worth it if fame is what you're seeking. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, it's more beneficial you just to become an influencer than it is to try to do this music thing. Um, it now if you're doing it like I'm doing it, where it's like, no, it's about the art. Like, I'm gonna do this new record. I'm gonna start doing a record. Fuck these singles. I'm gonna start doing an album a year like my heroes did it for me and for those that want to hear it. And if you don't want to hear it, dude, I tell you how checked that out I am of all like the vanity metric stuff. I got a new iPhone a while back, and today I got an email from a Spotify for artists, the back end thing where you can see all the and I tried to log in, and I couldn't log in because I don't know it's not on my new phone, like the password and stuff, and I did not even bother resetting the password. I'm like, "I don't care. Like, I don't need to look at it.
Just delete the app. You're like, whatever. I don't even need it anymore.
Yeah, I don't I
Yeah.
mean, it doesn't matter because Spotify's not a it's not a viable way to make it anymore. That that ship has sailed.
Well, and these days it's like, whether it's Spotify or Apple Music, those are just platforms for people to listen to your music. But no one's gonna check you out on those platforms until they've seen you first on. And most of the time these days, it's social media. It's it's TikTok, it's Instagram, it's Facebook. They have to find you on those places. I think the days of like these days have been long gone, but the days of like going on tour, trying to build a fan base on the road. Now you'll still make fans on the road, but that is that's a mentality from 20 years ago. That's a 20-year-old mentality, and it's been a very we came from a generation where there was no social media. There was no we came from like the Nokia phones, where you could only text. There was no social media. For social media, Facebook came out when I was in the first year I was in college. It only existed for college students at first.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
that was how you had to connect with like college kids at a new campus that you were going to, and that was when I first got a Facebook. And then like 2 years later, they opened it up to the public, and then I told my parents about it. And I told my sister about it because she was in the Air Force, and I was like, hey, you get this? We can kind of keep up with each other. We all lived in different places, and now it's just every day you pop online and there's some new app or there's some new social media platform that you got to be on because everybody's on it, and then they're all just so many people on there, everybody's trying to make it and whatever, and so it's a difficult thing, man. And none of us got into this to be on social media recording content all the time to promote the songs. And that's something it's really weird because it's like I think about I was having a conversation with a songwriting buddy, one of my best friends, Brandon, last night, and I was sitting here in the barn out here behind the house, and I had my guitar. We're doing a little songwriting, and we had a conversation about that. How when we got into like what got us, we're like what got us into this in the first place, and it was the song, the music, like writing a song, playing it for your buddies around a campfire or something, and hoping that they like it, hopefully they can connect to it a little bit and feel something. And that's the whole reason that I got into playing music and writing songs. And now it's like that is today, that's like 10% of like what we do, what we have to do to keep the train rolling down the track
Yeah.
is that. And then 90% is this bullshit that I don't really don't want any part of, but it's you have to do it. I mean, there's no choice. You have to do it all. And it's just not, but it's evolved to something that's not why I got into it.
Well, the thing my issue is, and I've said this a couple times, I just had that video go like super, super, super viral. It got like 12 million views on Facebook, right? And I think it got like 1.5 or 1.8 on the other platforms. And so
What video was that?
it was the one of me telling the crowd to shut the fuck up at Do-Si Do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I saw that.
It went
Yeah.
ham, right? And 10 years ago, or even before COVID, if you had a piece of content, like, everybody who watched that would have looked you up. And if you had a piece of content get 12 mil, like it's really like 15 on all platforms, 15 million people have seen this. I would have been famous 10 years ago because of that. And I would have been asked to come on fucking Ellen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now 14 million views is a fucking Tuesday, right? It's just for these people, some of these influencers getting that every day, you
Every
know,
day.
and
Yeah.
it's, you know,
And
you
it's not
can't,
just like a couple, it's like thousands of them. You
right.
know?
Yeah. And so
Maybe millions.
yeah. And so the thing is now, whenever you do go viral, there's nothing on the other end of it. So then it's like, I don't really want to go viral again. Like, I don't want to deal with all that dopamine and comments and craziness if it's not gonna add value to my life, you know?
If it's not going to equate to people actually coming out and or just, you know, checking you out and streaming your songs, which is
Yeah.
why you're doing it in the first place.
Yeah,
That was
100%.
a great video though. I love that video of you on up there at Dosey Do, because we've all been there, man. We've all been there. Especially that's a listening room place too. That's not a place where you know, there's a bunch of people just hanging out in the back, you know, playing pool or chasing tail or whatever. That's a place where everybody sits down. They pay a hard ticket price to see an artist. I mean, no one's going to go to Dosey Do to see anybody unless they know who they are, and that's just rude to everybody else. So I love that you did that. That was awesome.
Yeah, most musicians have most people agreed with me, you know. I think there's a general kind of I think the reason live music is so kind of fucked right now is for two reasons. I think one of them is that the general public, I've said this a million times, the general public doesn't see what we do as special because it's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's at every fucking coffee shop, every bar, every honky tonk. You pick up your phone, it's on your iPhone, it's, you know what I mean? It's everywhere. So I just, and the more readily available something is, the less special it is. That's the way the human thing works, you know. But the other reason I think live music is taking a huge suffering is because I think between ticket prices and also venues not making live music the central focus of the experience of somebody's experience at night, I think those people that just love live music, like, and I'm talking about love live music, like there's different scales of how much you like some people like live music as it just being background and they just think it's cool, right? But there's a lot of people that love to go to concerts, love to go to shows, and they're not going to those shows anymore, either A, because of ticket prices, or B, they don't want to deal with all the cell phones and all the conversations, and they don't want to sit there and pay $350 to go see George Strait just to hear the people next to you yap your brain off.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I was watching somebody last night, and they're a pretty decent sized Texas band, and they were playing at a one of the like kind of premier venues in Fort Worth. I won't say what venue it is. And I'm like watching these dudes up there fucking kill it. They go live from the DJ booth, and I'm watching the band kill it. And like the first like maybe 10 or 15 people were like into the show, and everybody else, like you could literally, they had their backs away from the stage, like
Mm-hmm.
just kind of talking to everybody. And it's like, it's just, that's not the way that I grew up with live music. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's as an artist that sucks, you know, you're up on stage and you got some people watching and paying attention, well most people, but then you got somebody right there with back turned and stuff like that. And I think that also that has to do with like the venue you're playing to sometimes, and um
Yeah.
and the ticket sales. I mean, I think I know what venue you're talking about. We've played there before, and you know, they have a very low cover charge to that place. And
Oh, that,
and I think too, like a lot of times when if a cover charge isn't like to a certain level where it's like a cover charge can be too high, but it can also be too low. Sometimes when it's too low, it's inviting in a lot of people who, well, and this can be a good thing too. So inviting a lot of people who've never heard of your band before, they're just like, hey, that's a low cover charge, I'll go in, and that can be a really good thing. But sometimes it equals out to people like that who just, they could care less, you know, and they're not there to see you. And but hopefully you can turn them into fans. And that's the opposite side of that coin. Hopefully, you know, those people who do have their back turned to you by the end of the night, they're watching, you know, they're enjoying the show, And as an artist, like you should definitely strive to turn those people into fans. You know, anybody that you see out there that's not paying attention, focus on them. You know, focus on that person. Try to get them by the end of the night to be your biggest fan. And that's kind of the fun of it too. You know, being on stage and trying to reel people in who've never heard of you before.
Absolutely, dude. And I used to say this all the time because I used to go play places where no one else could get anybody to pay attention. I would go in there and immediately just have a meeting out of the palm of my hand, just because of all the dick jokes. But it's like, but really, man, I used to say there's no such thing as a shitty crowd. There's only shitty entertainers. That's what I used to say. Like pre-COVID, that's what I would say all the time. Because so anytime anybody would bitch about not people not paying attention, I'll just be like, well, you're not giving them anything to pay attention to. You know what I
Well,
mean?
there's a lot of truth in that.
But now, like, and I say this all the time, like, I'm a fucking black belt at getting people to turn around. I just am. I mean, like, you put me on a stage, it's the one, like, the entertaining factor is the one thing that I've put 100% of my effort into over everything else, and even guys like me are having a hard time. So I can't imagine some introvert that's like, we'll never have another Bob Dylan. You know what I mean? It'll just never happen again because
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean
because
that just comes down to straight up songwriting and being able to capture someone. You don't have to, run around stage and be loud. I mean, like someone like Bob Dylan. I mean, you don't have a choice. You just have to like you hear it. You're like, wow, this is different. He's telling
Yeah,
a
but
story
how many
right
Bob
now.
Dylans do you think that are out there right now, but people aren't even giving like, and that's what I say all the time. Like, you and I've had this conversation a lot, right? About it's about the song. And if you put out the right song, the people will find it, right? And it's about the song. It's about the song. It's about the song. And man, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I completely agree with you. Now it it's like if nobody hears the tree, if the tree falls in the woods, nobody hears it. You know what I mean? It's like if no one hears the song, like you can get up, I can write the best song that's ever been written and get up and play it. And if no one's listening to what I'm doing, it's not going to take off.
Well, I think that's so you got two different places to play your music right now these days, right? You got a live music venue, which is what we're talking about right now, and then you have like social media. When you're playing at a live music venue and it's loud and there's a lot of, they're serving drinks, there's pool, there's darts, there's, a dance floor, there's lights, there's all this stuff. It's super hard in those atmospheres in that kind of atmosphere to bring people in and introduce yourself, even if you have the best written song ever, because there's a lot of distractions in the room. And they if they take the time to actually turn around and listen, and not talk to their buddies or whatever, then yeah, you more than likely you're going to bring somebody in and make them a fan. If you have that good song, if you're if you're a good songwriter and you have something they can relate to. But it's harder to do that in a live atmosphere. And on the other hand, you have your social media stuff, which I just got done saying I hate doing. But in the respect of being able to capture a new audience or new fans because you have a great song that's well written that they can relate to, someone's more likely, probably out of those two atmospheres, whether it's live or social media, they're probably going to connect with you more initially off seeing it on their phone because they're at their house, it's quiet, they're not in a loud rowdy place, and they're actually listening to the words, and it captures them because they're paying attention more. It's just you and them at that
Yeah.
point. There's no distractions around. And so that's the only good thing that I personally think it has come from social media is it's more one-on-one. It's the artist and the viewer. And live shows, there's a million distractions and you're trying to get over that every single distraction in the room and trying to reach that person. And a lot of times it's virtually impossible.
Yeah, you got to drop your trousers or something, you got to whatever.
Yeah, just like, do that.
But with the social media thing, if you don't hook them in the first 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds, then you got to have something. There's got to be something for them to say, okay, what's this? Whoa, what is this? I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just a get off my lawn guy these days. And it's just,
I'm that guy too, man.
it's just, I just don't think it's worth it anymore, man. And what sucks is it's like, the amount of days that we've spent away from our families. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Well, that gets harder and harder the older I get. You know, I've
Yeah, and
two
me too.
kids and a wife and a baby on the way, man, and it's you know, this life was a lot more easier in my 20s. And man, I wish I would have done I wish I would have done this more in my 20s, dude. I didn't, you know, like I really didn't start really like into like music full time until I was like 27, 28. You know, before that I played music a lot, you know, and I would just kind of write and play like around for friends or go to a bar every now and then and play an acoustic show or you know, every now and then. But I was busy working. Like in my 20s I was, you know, doing oil field uh and then just working. You know, I was either going to college or I was, you know, working the oil field. And I, you know, looking back on it at this age, especially, I'm like, man, like, I wonder what if I would have like not cared so much in my 20s about got to make money. Cause if I feel like I did it in reverse, right? I mean, I feel like now it's like, okay, now I got a family. I should make some, you know, go out there. I should have probably worked in the oil field now, you know, and done music in my
Yeah, the same
20s.
thing. Same thing. I went to
But
right in the oil field right out of high school. I mean, and in 2006, I became a full-time musician. So it's coming up on, 20 years of me being a full-time musician, Uh, and I did the same thing. I got right out of high school, got somebody pregnant, and immediately went to work and just making money. I didn't start really focusing on music until 2006, and but, you can go back and you can do the woulda, coulda game all you want to. It
yeah,
doesn't do you any good.
I try not to do that at all, man. I've always tried to live my life though, like not regretting anything, and I don't regret anything. You know, but you always stop every now and then on a night like tonight, you know, on a Friday night, just before Christmas, sitting here with your family and thinking about the past and being like, you know, woulda, coulda, shouldas and stuff like that. But I don't spend a lot of time doing that either, man. I'm happy where I'm at and everything. But man, it's a crazy industry, dude. And my son just started picking up piano recently, and he just played piano for the first. He just had his first performance at the school he goes to at their Christmas program. He learned how to play Furlise on piano, and he's in third grade, and he did great, man. And he worked it up, and afterwards he was like, "Dad, you know, like I really like, you know, it's awesome go out there and play music, and that's my first performance." And I was like, "Son, but listen, you're really good at math and science, you know, maybe maybe really focus on those things, you know. I mean, don't stop playing piano, you know, and but you're really good at math and science. And just last week you told me you want to be an engineer. So, boy, maybe that sounds really good, you know. Maybe try that path."
For sure, man. So you have 2 kids, you got 1 on the way?
Two and one. I got a 8-year-old boy, 6-year-old girl, and one on the way. Surprise,
Yeah,
surprise.
you're so way behind. I am not jealous of you one bit. My oldest one's 26, you've met Gavin. He's 26, he's doing his own thing, he works at Do and Brody's 15, going on 25, and, he's
Yep.
like, quarterback of the football team and shit, and, it's cool to kinda but it and that's it is kinda cool once they get to that age because you don't feel as guilty whenever you're kinda checking out for the weekend or whatever, because they don't wanna hang out with you anyway, they wanna go hang out with their friends and shit. He's got all his friends and they're watching the fight tonight, they're all in the living room in there, and I told him
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
just doing this for here while I'm doing this interview, so
I told him Jake Paul's gonna get his ass whooped.
oh, shit. We'll see what happens, I don't care either way. It's stupid.
Yeah.
That's
My dad texted me earlier. He's like, "We can watch that fight." I was like, "Nah, I'm hanging out with Jeff tonight. I'll check the fight later.
yeah.
I'll watch a 10-second rerun."
Yeah, it's on Netflix, and it's boxing, and boxing bores the shit out of me, dude. It really does. Like, I mean, I got
I'd rather watch UFC for sure.
yeah, I got into it a lot when Tyson fought, and because he was just so entertaining, man. But really, those most of those bouts that go, 10 rounds or whatever, I personally don't like it.
Yeah,
You
well,
know,
now it's like all these social media influencers fighting each other and stuff like that. It's not even like Mike Tyson kind of characters, you know. It's you know, guys who huge dudes who are out there just, you know, like these guys are born to fight. You know, now it's like who's got the most followers who talks the most shit, who's got the most followers on YouTube, you know, like let's put them in the ring. I don't know. Even that industry is changing, man. I mean, it's like music's not the only thing that's kind of weird, you know, with social media these days, every industry you can think of has just changed, you know. So, music industry, we're not special, you know, it's everybody.
Yeah, and it's only gonna get worse, and that's the thing that people come on my Facebook and be like, "Dude, you're a musician, like, stop fucking bitching," and it's just like, man, it's coming for your industry too. It's for everybody. I mean, unless we have some sort of catastrophic event that kinda just resets us and puts us back in touch with Jesus, where it's just kinda crazy out there right now, and what are you gonna do? I mean, me and Brooke, well, our goal is, when Brody graduates high school, we wanna buy, 100 or so acres in Arkansas and open up a campground and do, like, the human experience thing without any of this other shit. That's our goal,
That'd be great. That'd be great.
Everything's changed for me, this year. I wanna find peace in everything I do, and if I'm not getting closer to that, I'm just not interested, you know?
Well, the older you get, man, you got to find some peace somewhere. You know, that's why I moved back here to East Texas, 2 years ago. My kids started school and, uh, this is where I'm from, but it's 150 acres, and it's just this place has been in my family for my great grandfather bought this place in the I don't know 60s or something like that, and it's thank God we've kept it in the family for multiple generations. And but yeah, I mean, this is my peaceful spot. So yeah, you're right. You got to find peace. You got to find it in life, and um, I don't know. It's just at my kids, they love it. They're all, like today. I was watching them. They're not on their iPads, so they're out here running around with their dog and the chickens, and and the sun was going down. I'm sitting there just life is good, I mean, and I love this age, Yeah, I know you talked about earlier how, kids 15 and 20 something and they're, older and doing their own thing with their friends and stuff like that. It does make it hard to leave home at this age as young as they are now because, they're crying when I leave, and my son will give me like 20 hugs before I get out the door, and it does make it more difficult this age especially, they got so many events going on at school, and basketball and baseball and dance and recitals and all this stuff, man. And I try to be as part of it as much as I can. Anytime I'm home, I'll drive myself to shows during some parts of the year, and I'll coach his basketball team, and I'll make sure I make her recitals and things like that. So I'm trying to be most part of as I can, at this age, because it's such a beautiful age, as young as they are, the elementary years and stuff like that before they start getting up into junior high and high school and don't care about dad anymore.
Yeah, and that's kind of what really the only regrets I really have is that I missed so much of that young stuff, and like this year, Brody played quarterback last year and he played quarterback in 7th grade and he played quarterback. He's a freshman, and it's like this year I was like I missed his first game and I was like that's it. I'm not missing another game. I'm just not. Like I don't and so I have to do whatever I have to do to make sure I make his games because it's just that special. It's that special for me to watch him and support him and it's it's just pretty cool. Everything's just gotten better. Life is just better once I decided, you know what, dude? Y'all all go play that rat race that 10 million people are doing to do the same thing, to fight for the same amount of attention, the same ears. I'm not doing it, man. It's just the way I see it is I see a very, very small percentage of people being super, super, super successful. And then I see everybody else as just a rat race for the scraps. And that's just the way I see it. And I just got tired of eating scraps.
Yeah. You ever have young artists like, that are just starting out, like, young, maybe just started like a year ago, like, oh, or, maybe they're like in their early 20s or whatever, who have no idea how the industry works, like reach out and like ask like, for advice and things like that. You ever have people do that?
Yeah, yeah, all the time. I mean, I've mentored a ton of younger artists. You know, and this is what I say. I mean, go give it a shot.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
because the only thing that makes you grow as a human being is failure. You know what I mean? And there's nothing more kind of uh, you're not I don't know how any other professions that you're gonna other than maybe acting that you or comedy that you're gonna have the amount of rejection that we have. And that builds character. It really does build character. And so, you know, go chase it. I
Yeah, for
now
sure.
the one advice I do is if there's a way you can not make it your job until it hits the point where it has to be your job, the more happy you'll be. And actually, the more you can grow your brand. It's very hard to grow your brand when you have to depend on the money because you're taking opportunity. You're not taking opportunities that you would normally take to grow your brand because you have to be playing these shows to make your money. Does that make sense?
No, 100%. Yeah, saying no is going to grow you more than anything. You have to be in a position to say no. And for a lot of these young cats who, don't even start a job even, or maybe they quit their job at an early age to start playing music. It's like, because everybody, everybody used to say this: you can't play music, you can't do it unless you go full in. You gotta just quit everything and do it. And I heard that for the longest time, and you know, it's a double edged sword. But I think on the realistic side is no, don't do that, and you don't have to these days. I mean, these days, like I said, there's so many people, and that was like I said, that was like 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years, 15 years ago. Maybe that was
Yeah.
the world we all lived in, where you had to quit, you had to go on the road, you had to open up for everybody you could for free, or maybe $200 and drive to 2 states over, and then just stay on the road and ask your parents for gas money and things like that. Like, yeah, that was probably the world back then. But these days, man, any young cat, I got a couple of young artists who have opened for us, and a couple of people that I really believe in. And I've told them, man, that is not the world anymore. So if you got a job, keep your job. You know, uh, put money into 401k. Put money into savings. And then pay for what you're doing. Pay to put songs out, record an album. Record more and more songs. Work on your craft. Don't spend so much time thinking that you have to go on the road. That is not this industry anymore. I mean, now it's stay home, work on your craft, record as much music as possible, put as much music out there as you can, and make as much content as you possibly can around it. And all those things you can do in wherever they live. They don't have to go out on the road and do all that. All that other stuff will follow. If you have it,
Yeah.
it will follow. If you don't have it, you'll know. You do that for a couple of years. Put over the I would say so young artists these days, make as much music as you can over the course of 2 years. Make as much content as you can around it. Put it out on every platform. Promote the hell out of it. And if it works, you'll know you'll have a career in it. If it doesn't work, stop.
Yeah.
And then go make sure you go get a job. Go get a career. Start a family. Because that's going to make you more happy in life than trying to run the roads, hoping that somebody in some bar is gonna hear you. That's not the world we live in anymore.
Yeah. I mean, it still happens, but it's so rare, and you have just as much of a chance of it happening in your hometown as you do of being 3 states over. You know what I mean? It's like it's just like anything else. It's about networking. It's about getting to know people, and it's about surrounding yourself with people that have your best interest at heart, that aren't going to fuck you. And this industry is just full of snakes. I'm sure y'all have ran into it. I know I have. Um, and the more you envelop yourself in this industry fully, the more chances you have getting bit. Where if you can kind of stay independent and fund your own, you know what I'm saying? And also, like, don't use any of your own personal money to record songs. Go out and, like, play shows and take that money and record songs with those. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, have your job to pay your bills and then play shows to make money to record your records. And if you
Well,
do it at, like,
I'll be honest, I don't even think they need to play shows to record a record. That's what I'm saying is, like, to a young artist, I wouldn't even say you got to go play shows. Like, get a job, save some money to record some music, and then promote yourself on all these, TikTok, Instagram, all this stuff. Do that,
yeah,
but don't think you got to go and buy a van and even get a band together. Honestly,
right.
I mean,
Dude,
don't
that's
even think you.
great. This year's been great because I fired my band last October. It's been over a year since I played a full band show, and, like, I go on the road, I come back with money now. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would just just people need to keep it simple as possible. And honestly, I kind of feel like that's not just for younger artists. That's probably for even artists too. Like maybe even artists like us, like doing it for so long, been on the road. It's like that's one thing I was talking to Brandon about. Like I love my band, and like when I'm not saying like it, but I'm saying if I was telling someone else this was in a situation, but even artists like us, like if it's not working, like hey, the industry is changing, man, and it is not a run the road industry anymore. And because it's a big hurdle for people like us to get over because we've seen that side of the industry. We've seen that's you had to do that. There was no option. You had to go and do all that. That is not the world we live in anymore. You
Yeah.
know.
You also have it better than most because you've had the same guys for a while. Uh, I know you went through a bunch before you found those guys, but man, and
Not
most.
really, man. I went through like a couple of guys, but not it, but it wasn't many, man. I was at oil field. When I was working the oil field, I kind of had a band a little bit, but it was like my supervisor played bass. And then he came from a family of musicians. So his sister played fiddle, his brother played lead guitar, and then we knew a drummer. And so like our schedule was like 6 on, 2 off. So we might have one weekend off a month, like that's just the way this, 6 on, 2 off, the way the schedules fell. But after that, I left the oil field, moved to Houston. I met Dallas right away, pretty much, probably maybe a month or two after I moved to Houston, because I didn't know anybody in Houston. And then he introduced me to Mikey, and then through Mikey, I met Kevin, and that was 10 years ago, So, and that was our first album came out in 2015. That was 10 years ago, and that was the first time I started touring.
And that's so rare. It's just so rare because, like, I hear, I'll hear like Brie Bagwell tell stories. She'll just get a guitar player ready to go, and then he's leaving her to go, to somebody else. And I remember when Josh left William Clark Green, it was like, man, like,
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
Serato.
yeah, it's just crazy. And so, you know, you're out there opening for folks and stuff, and people are snapping musicians, and there's just, man, there's so many just hurdles that you don't know, and really that's why I kind of do this podcast. It's not to complain, and it's not to be negative, and it's not to change things. It's pretty much to just let other artists know, hey, these are some of the things that you're gonna have to deal with in your career. I don't care who you are. You're gonna have people pass you up that aren't as good as you. You're gonna have people that screw you over. You're gonna be misunderstood all the time. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just a tough industry, man. It's just a very, very, very tough industry. And if you were to take the amount of effort and work that it takes to do this for a full-time job and literally put that effort into anything else, you'll be a millionaire.
Well, for
Y
people that work hard, at it, there's a lot of lazy musicians too, man.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm talking about the
Yeah.
ones who, like, really if I was to put the amount of effort I've put into my music career into a lawn service, I'd have 20 crews out there and, uh kicking ass, taking names. That's kind of my point. Oh, yeah, that's kind of the problem though, right? Is there's so many people out there half-assing it. So many, so many. And so the overall quality of show has just diminished so far, That's my opinion anyway.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I agree with there's a lot of people out there who don't try as hard, but you don't hear about those people a lot either, though. I mean, there's millions of musicians out there we've never heard of. There's
Yeah, but it's
millions of landscapers out there that have mowers that we never heard of either. So
for
it's
sure.
like it's
But
how
it
hard you
still
work.
adds to the way the general population perceives us. Does
Yeah,
that make sense? Like, the general population doesn't know the difference between some musician that's at setting up in the corner of Chili's, reading their fucking 35 songs off an iPad. The general public doesn't see any difference between that and somebody who's really trying to advance their career. They just see a musician. That's all they see.
Yeah.
the general public. I'm not talking about, there's definitely some people out there that see us for what we do, but the general public, I mean, dude, the general public is stupid. Like, that's it. I'll be completely honest with that. I saw this stupid AI video the other day of a gorilla handing a baby back to the baby fell in the zoo cage and the gorilla hands it back to the mom. And you got people on this thing believing it's real. And you're
Yeah.
like, did y'all not remember Harambe getting fucking shot just not too long ago? Like, a gorilla, if your baby falls into the zoo, the gorilla's going to kill it.
Yeah. 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 Now, I've seen. I think I saw the same video. AI is pretty crazy though, dude. Like especially those videos. I've seen. I can't tell you. I'll be honest. There's been times I've been one of those people who've been like, "What?" And I go watch the video again, and it's getting to the point. And when AI videos first started, like the people, their face would be messed up, or they'd have like 20 fingers on a hand. Their arm would be weird and stuff like that. But like, hey, dude, I said when AI first started, like that was like a year ago. So in the past year, now it's gone to, if I log into my phone and I see an AI video nowadays, it's like, man, I have to watch it 2 or 3 times, like figure out. I mean, like if it's something like a gorilla handing a baby back, I'm like, okay, that's not going to happen. That's just, I understand gorillas a little bit, not a zoologist or anything, but I know a gorilla's probably not going to do that. But but people, man, like, but AI, man, AI is weird, man. It's only going to get AI is scary because you can't tell what's real anymore. I mean, and I mean, you probably seen videos before on AI, like you got to watch a couple times before you're like, is that real? Is it not real? I don't know, and then sometimes I'll have to go to the comments and be like, all right, well, what do other people think? Is this AI or not? And the first 5 comments are like AI, whatever. So, but then the opposite side of that coin is like, well, what if video's not AI? What if something like crazy did happen?
Well,
And then
that's
everybody's like, that's AI. How do we know if it's AI?
see, that's the problem, right? And I personally, my prediction is I think it's going to be the downfall of all social media. Because what happens is, if like, take for example, like CNN, MSNBC, these news stations, nobody trusts them anymore, so they don't watch them. Like, they're
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
super low. So like, even me, I don't spend near as much time surfing social media as I used to because I can't trust it. I don't know what's real. Like, even the video I saw the other day of the guy in Bondi Beach,
Yeah.
Australia.
The shooters in Australia. Yeah.
Right. When I saw that, and I was like, is this real? Or
Yeah.
is this
I thought the same thing.
right? And so it's like, and if I have to ask myself that question, I no longer want to consume it. You know what I
So
mean?
what do you think what do you think that's going to do over time to the human psyche, like to the way that we think about the world? Because I mean, our brains are wired to our surroundings. I mean, that's just evolution. So
Yeah.
how is the human? I think about this, like how is the human brain going to evolve with AI? Because if you don't know what's real and what's not real, I mean,
You're gonna
obviously, if you turn your phone off, you can look around and know what's real,
right.
what's right in front of you. But we get a lot of information. You were talking about CNN, Fox News, stuff like that. Yeah, people don't trust the media anymore because they spread so much misinformation. But now everything you see online and these videos that look so real, it's misinformation. So how is that going to wire the human brain moving forward? I'm thinking about my kids, my grandkids one day, like how are the brains going to be wired with AI?
I think we're cooked unless something really catastrophic happens that knocks out the grid and knocks all this stuff out. That's what I think. I think that us as a human species is cooked. That's what I think. I don't know if it's going to take 5 years. I don't know if it's going to take 6 months. I don't know if it's going to take 600 years. I don't know. But I don't see, if you don't know what to believe, then you can't make informed decisions. And if you can't make informed decisions, then everything crumbles. And
Yeah.
that's just it. There's no positive way to look at it. Now, I think what's going to happen is I think people are going to eventually say enough is enough, and they're just going to stop consuming it. And now you're always going to have, you've always had truth seekers and you've always had sheeple. right? It's something that is it goes back to the dawn of time. You've always had people that just follow where society pushes them, and then you have truth seekers. Like I consider myself a truth seeker. I consider myself someone who takes the facts of what I know and I make a educated decision on what I believe about a situation, you know? But you have people out there that don't have that capability. You know, they put themselves in an echo chamber, and I don't think AI is the problem. I think the problem is social media. I think the way the algorithms work, where it used to be, you know, you would have 10,000 followers. And every time you made a post, Facebook would show that to 7% of your followers. It wouldn't show it to 100%, but it would show it to 7%. That's all it got. And then what would happen is, like, take your dad or whatever, like my dad. You know, my dad's a super ultra conservative guy. And so what he would do is he would have his Facebook, he would put his political opinion out there. Anybody that argued with him, he would delete them. Right. So he built himself an echo chamber, and echo chambers were really bad before all the algorithm stuff started kicking in. But now the echo chambers are even worse, and they're doing it on purpose because, like, say you're an ultra conservative person and you watch a video of some left-wing lunatic do something stupid. Well, then it's going to start showing you all these videos of these left-wing lunatics doing something stupid. So then you're going to think every left-wing person is a lunatic. Same thing with the people on the left. You know, they see Donald Trump say something, and you got this Trump derangement syndrome and all this crap, and it's because the social media is making you feel that everybody is crazy because that's the content that you're consuming.
Yeah, it's going to
But
show you. It's going to show you what you watch, and it's going to show
right.
you that over and over and over again.
Yeah. And so you're going to get more and more bought into it. But if you're a guy like me, like my algorithm is people playing music, like motorcycle stunts, dash cam footage, cop chases. Like that's what I see. I don't even, every time anything political comes on, I just go right past it because I know what's going to happen if I watch it. It's going to start putting that shit in my feed all the time. But the general public doesn't know that. But the more we get educated about how this stuff works with our brains, the more people are going to check out. That's the way I view it. And I think eventually it's going to get back to where people are living in the real world again.
I think eventually people are going to. Well, I think eventually they'll make AI. They'll make some kind of software to where it can very quickly figure out if it's AI or not AI. Because I think people are going to stop. Well, what am I trying to say here? People don't want to see AI videos, right? I mean, they don't. You watch an AI video and you're like, well, that's not real. Why am I watching that? You know, and you go to the next one, it's an AI video, and like, oh, why am I watching that? Like, even if it's captivating, because AI videos are very captivating, but it's not real. So eventually, people are going to only want to see things that are real. But how do you stop? Because right now, there's no guardrails, for AI, and that's where that's the time frame we're in right now. Well, there's no guardrails, so you log in any social media, you're going to see AI half the time, and there's no like set. You can't go into your settings and be like, I don't show me AI videos, because they don't have the software to do that yet.
Yeah.
But I think eventually these social media platforms are going to have to incorporate some kind of settings where you can turn off AI, where the software itself detects AI, and then they're able to, and because otherwise people will, like you said, otherwise people will stop using it. Because I've gotten to the point where I'm like, I don't even log into social media. I never really did a whole lot anyway, but especially when AI started coming out, because half the things I see now are all AI, and I'm thinking this is not even the real world. When TikTok first came out, well, I didn't really get it until like a few years after it came out. But then I kind of enjoyed it because it'd be musicians, it would be, playing their songs and people I'd never heard of before. I would see cool videos from other parts of the world that I'd never been to before. And it was all real. And then AI got introduced, and most of the things I see on there now is fake. They're going to have to incorporate, unless they want to lose a lot of viewers and subscribers or whatever, they're going to have to find a way to make it to where people can turn that off, and not see those things. And there's got to be a way for that. There's got to be a way that they can make that happen.
I'm a techie, and I'm telling you right now that as soon as they pull that out, AI, people are going to find a way to use AI to get past the AI guardrail. It's just what's going to happen. It's way smarter than us humans can ever be, and it will figure out a way to get around whatever it's going to get around. I think the only way to fix it is to educate people and get them off. I don't think that technology itself, it's so advanced that our human brains can't even put our head around what it's capable of or not capable of. And I think that, like I said, as soon as you put something up that says it's going to go out and see if this is AI, but then what do you do about the stuff that people just use AI tools to help produce something? And so my issue, and I'll be honest with you, my issue is not to the people that are creating AI videos of like a monkey fucking a squirrel, right? Like people or a helicopter flying upside down in the water. Like if you're doing stuff like that, that's just so fantastical that, if that's a word, fantastical. Is that a word? It's
I think
fantastical.
I think it's a word. Let's say it's a word. Yeah, it sounds good to me. I know what you mean.
It's a word now.
Yeah, it's in Webster.
Right. You know what I mean? Like nobody's watching the movie Avatar and thinking that's real. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody's doing that because it's
Avatar's. Wait. Avatar's not real.
fantasy, right? And I think if you're creating AI videos like that, there's nothing wrong with that. Like put those out there. They're funny. You can find a funny. It's the problem is like you said, the misinformation. The problem is the people that are putting out videos of Joe Rogan saying things or Donald Trump saying things.
Right.
Or
Right.
I see the new one I see all the time are these dogs doing crazy shit. And it's like, I used to like videos of animals doing crazy shit, but now it's like, dude, that's just not like, that's not real.
You're
That's
like,
not.
why can my dog not do that shit? What the hell's wrong with my dog?
And then a huge problem on the other side is I saw a Randy Hauser video yesterday, and I love Randy Hauser. I think he's got a great voice, so good. So I'm not shitting on him at all. But I saw a Randy Hauser video, and it looked so good that it looked AI. You know what I mean? And so it's like, I know it wasn't because I know him. I don't know him, but I know what he does. It wasn't AI, but it looked AI because the cameras are getting so great. So it's like you have both problems that are happening at the same time. And I think I think in the next 2 or 3 years, I think that authenticity is going to be the biggest seller. Is like just be real and be honest and stop putting filters on your face and you know what I mean? All that stuff. That's what I think. But
So
maybe I'm being off.
I have a more realistic view on the problem of AI as well, and that's not so much the AI itself, but how much energy it drains. So, like where I live in East Texas, we have groundwater issues, and we had this company come in. This wasn't an AI company, but this is a company from Dallas who wanted to come in and drain our groundwater to like ship off to Dallas and Houston because they're growing so fast. There's not enough water. So those big cities are having an issue trying to build infrastructure because there's no water. And that is an issue. That's a big issue. So thank God we got a stop to it right now. It's all in the court system. But one other thing, this is happening a lot, especially in Texas because of low regulations. There's zero federal regulations on AI. But the big issue with AI is bigger than what we've been talking about is how much water it uses. All these AI plants are popping up. I mean, since 2020, I looked at the number a couple months, weeks ago. Me and Dallas were talking about this one day. We chat GPT'd it just to figure out how many AI plants. I think it was like since 2020, there's like 14 or 15,000 AI plants that have popped up in the past 5 years. Think about that. 14, not 14 or 15, not 1,500, 14, 15,000 AI plants. Each one of these AI plants takes about 1 million gallons of water a year to cool down these GPU units that they have. The computers. These computers get hot, and they got to find a way to cool them down. And that wastewater that they use cannot be recycled. It's not because when it goes through these units, there's a lot of material metals. There's a lot of stuff in it that you can't reuse the water. It's non-usable water, non-potable water. You cannot use that stuff again. And people don't realize that. Yeah, we have rain in the sky, but it takes hundreds of years for the rainwater to get down to the aquifers, and we don't have enough water to run these things. Now, another reason, so we were on there asking ChatGPT, like, okay, so we're asking AI about AI stuff, which is kind of ironic, but it answered the question. I asked it, I said, be honest with me, like, how if we've had 15,000 of these things pop up in the past 5 years, how, as a just the United States of America, how many AI plants realistically could we take in this country without going into before we start going into drainage of our aquifers where humanity doesn't have water anymore, or we start seeing places like rural America have to leave because there's no water. And it said about 15 years if it keeps going the route it's going. If it keeps going the route it's going, you got about 15 years left until the groundwater, these aquifers are getting depleted to the point where people have to start. It's going to be mass migrations, and there's no regulation on that right now. And that is scary. Like, that's more scary to me than the next gorilla kid video, of a gorilla picking up a kid. I mean, that's, that actually matters, and that's, people aren't thinking about that, dude. People just think we've always had water, right? I mean, I turn my faucet on, there's water. I turn my water hose on, there's water. Water's cheap. I mean, electricity's expensive, but water's cheap. My water bill's like, $20 a month. What do I have to worry about that? No, I'm telling you, water is gonna run dry, and people got no idea, and it's all because of these AI plants.
Yeah. Water's going to run dry. Jobs are going to go away. I had a friend of mine. She was an editor for a romance novel company. She's been doing it for like 20 years. And they just let her know that she just lost her job because AI can edit a whole book in 20 minutes when it takes her, 2 months to edit a book. And so she just lost her job. And so jobs are going to go away. It's a wild, wild time. And here we are bitching about the live music industry. But here's the bright side, and at the end of the day, we're on a rock floating millions of miles an hour through just treacherous stuff. And at any minute, a fucking asteroid can take out half the planet or the whole planet. At any second, we can start launching nukes. At any second,
You says there's a bright side.
Yeah, yeah. So let's go bright. At any second, somebody can launch an EMP to knock out the whole grid. If we don't kill each other first, because we're so divided because of politics, it's really like, I'm at the point now where I'm not a prepper, but I'm starting to get to the point now where I really want to get away from the big cities because I think that I don't think that. Man, I'm not very optimistic about humanity at this point right now. I'm just not. So,
Well, I think humanity's just got to get smarter on what we're doing.
with that, like I said, people believe a fucking gorilla really handed a baby back to its mom. So,
yeah, we just got to get smarter about what we're doing and think about what the consequences of our actions. I mean, who knows? Like, everybody's so worried about asteroids or nukes and stuff like that, but I'm telling you, the AI thing, I mean, like, that'd be like the dumbest mass extinction of a species in the history of Earth. If we give all of our resources to something that we created, AI, and then it takes over, and the AI is like, these guys, like, and then 1,000 years from now, AI is now like, roaming the Earth somehow. They've created their own robots and they're roaming Earth, and they got artificial intelligence and stuff like that. And then they're just like, we're in the history books, like the dinosaurs, and they're like, yeah, it's crazy. Humans used to exist and they made us, and then they gave us all the resources, and we killed them all. Killed them all, and now we're here.
Yeah, man, we fucked them good, didn't we? They're like, the AI robots are sitting around playing dominoes. Yeah, they're like, "Man, we fucked those humans good," and then you're gonna have, like, you have a certain level of people that are living underground in the sewers that are, like, eating rats and shit, like Demolition Man. Remember that movie
Well,
Demolition?
yeah, we'll be the rats, right? We'll be the rats in the sewers, just trying to claw
Yeah.
our way up and get like a piece of the, stealing something out of someone's garden.
See, now we're talking, dude, so I still have a chance to be a hero.
Yeah, you can come back. Yeah, exactly. We're gonna claw our way up from the underground and take back what's ours.
It's just crazy because you go back and you look at movies like Terminator 2. There's like that stealth movie. I don't know if you ever saw that. It's a Jamie Foxx and they have this new stealth bomber and it's like a completely AI, and this was 15, 20 years ago when this movie came out. And it's like, it's a fully AI jet. And so there's a team of like 4 jets, and one of the pilots is completely AI. And then they end up having to fight the jet because the jet sees them as as the greatest threat. So it's like you have all these movies that have kind of predicted all this stuff going to happen. And and we're just like, here we go. Fuck yeah, man. I can't wait.
I tell you the one movie that probably predicted it all right, and that's Idiocracy.
Oh, yeah, we're already there. We're past that.
Yeah,
We've already checked that box, bro. Like, I
I
know we
was
haven't
talking,
ordered on our plans with Gatorade yet, but we're close. We're close.
dude. I was talking to a guy the other day. I was at the school kids basketball practice, and these kids are all wearing Crocs. They're walking in with Crocs, and then they'll because they can't have their shoes on the gym floor that they wore outside. So they're all these kids have Crocs on. They'll switch over to their basketball shoes. And this dad was like, "Man, those things are ugly." And I was like, "Dude, I'm telling you." I said, "All these kids love the Crocs, and even adults, man." And hell, I mean, I've never had a pair of Crocs, but my wife wears a pair of Crocs. My kids got Crocs, and my newborn baby probably has Crocs I don't even know about yet. But if you watch Idiocracy, that's where Crocs came from. Like the director said, "Hey, we need shoes for this new civilization that would look ridiculous for the future, and like what would that be?" Well, they created, if you watch that movie, everybody's wearing these orange Crocs. And that's what we're all wearing now, and then I mean, people are just living fat in their house, not leaving the house and probably getting, government subsidies because AI took over and that runs everything, and people don't have to leave their house. They just sit around and probably get subsidy paychecks from the government, and they just get fat and don't do anything. And I'm telling you, like, that's like probably a couple of years from now, we are literally living in idiocracy. That's where we're at.
Already there. I do. I feel like we're already there. I honestly do, man. Like, I just see some of the things that I just can't, like I had one of my friends, an old school friend of mine, posted on Facebook one day, "Oh, so they'll ban cell phones in schools, but they won't ban guns." And I'm like, guns are banned in schools.
That's pretty ridiculous. Yeah.
Like that is an
Pretty stupid.
idiotic statement. That's stupid.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
stupid. And it's like some of the stuff that I see, it's just, and people live in their bubbles and you can't get them out. And I don't know, man. I have very little faith in society. That's why I want to buy my 150 acres in Arkansas, and I want to build my little campground, and I want to make it as self-sustainable as I possibly can. I want to have a fucking garden, and I want to have some goats and some chickens and some cows, and I'm going to slaughter those bitches and I'm going to eat them. I'm going to, like, I'm going back to my country roots where I know, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And then
Yeah.
I'll have snake pits and moats and booby traps, woods and shit, keep the meth heads out. So that way when things go to shit, I can at least survive a while, you know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah. Well, you just gotta, I've never been a prepper either, but that's why we kind of started a little bit. I told my wife, I said I want to get one of those underground, just get like uh, a storage, one of the train cars. You put them underground and stuff like that. Have a filtration system that goes up to the top or whatever. Because I'm like, you never know what if. Like every time you mention that to somebody, they're like, "Oh my god, like, come on, like you don't need that. Like, what are you thinking of?" but it's pretty cheap to do, honestly. I mean, I can rent a backhoe for a day and do the whole thing, you know. And you can buy one of those cargo containers on a auction for pretty cheap. And I don't know. I'm just one of those things. You never know, man. Whether it's a nuclear war or whatever, because and that's another thing. But I don't know, man. We live in a crazy world. We have to think about all this stuff. You know, what was the good old days? I guess maybe all, you know, maybe everybody thought this way though. I love history, and I was watching something about, you know, the Cold War the other day, and you know, in the 50s, and everybody's, you know, early 60s, everybody's bunkering down, you know, like schools, and you know,
I did it. I did it.
it,
I did it in elementary school. In elementary school, we had to do nuclear drill because
it's crazy. Yeah.
I'm 10 years older than you, and so I was in elementary school in the 80s. And yeah, I remember having to do the whole get under your desk or tuck your knees, or I can't really remember exactly what it was, but I remember having to do nuclear drills when I was in like kindergarten, first grade, second grade. I remember that. And it is crazy, but you know, it's I think the problem is that people think because they know a lot more things that they're smarter. And the thing is, we're just inundated with information from the time we wake up to the time we go to sleep, but we don't really know what's real and what's fake. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah. What
and
kind of
that was
information are we being? You know, what kind of information are we talking about? You know, you don't
yeah,
know.
and right, and that was the problem. That was a problem before AI. You know, the reason people stopped watching the news is because they couldn't trust the information not necessarily true, but the full scope of what's really happening. You know, they're editing things out to make the other side look stupid, blah 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 blah. And so everybody started to really paying attention to independent journalists. You know, and that kind of took off, but now the problem is, I mean, like I'm a huge Houston Texans fan, and every day I see some AI made bullshit about the Texans.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically I just stopped even paying attention to that because I don't know what to believe. So it's like, fuck it, I'll watch the game. I'll enjoy the game, but I don't care about what's going on with the roster.
Yeah, I'm a Cowboys fan, man, and I see AI stuff all the time. Something about them not making the playoffs this year. Something about Dak Prescott sucks, man. It's all AI.
Wait, you're a Cowboys fan?
It's
This
all AI. No, it's not real, man. It's all AI. They said they're not gonna make the playoffs this year. It's all AI.
this isn't it. This is over. That's it. I don't even want to talk to you anymore. Remember all that thing about my good friend? I'm kidding. You know what's funny about the Cowboys is and it's the same thing why I make fun of Deftones fans. I don't actually have a problem with Cowboys. I don't have a problem with Deftones. But god damn, do they not have the most sensitive fan bases on the planet.
Uh-huh.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Cowboys fans, I'm not saying all of them. You're not sensitive, but man, like God, I've only got in one fight at a show, and it was because I made a Cowboys joke from stage, and a guy fought me for it.
I love Cowboys jokes. I think they're awesome. I'm a Cowboys fan for life, man. So the reason is I'm, you know, from East Texas, and my dad, you know, when I was growing up, he would, you know, he didn't he didn't make a lot of money, you know, at first. He actually went to school back when he started high school. Sorry, he started college when he was 35 years old, you know, and then graduated college when he was 39. So, you know, but he would always save up enough money to when football season went on, he would drive us. It's a 2-hour drive from where I live in East Texas to Dallas to the stadium. You know, it was a Texas stadium back then. And so he would drive us, and like once a year, that was like our big thing. You know, we can't wait to go to the Cowboys game. So I grew up a Cowboys fan. You know, that was back when Aikman and, you know, and Emmitt Smith and Michael Irvin and everybody was with the Cowboys. So I got to see him back when they were really good, you know, and it's been 30 years, man. It's been 30 years since they've even gone to a NFC championship, you know. So, and it's been a rough road. So, but I do remember as a kid being with my dad, you know, him taking my family to those games. But so and he bought me my first Cowboys jersey, and he bought me a Cowboys helmet, you know, and I loved that thing. So, but it's just, you know, but that's why sports fans are sports fans, because it's the memory. There's a memory that connects you to something in your life. And for me, that's what it is. So I'll always be a Cowboys fan, but I love Cowboys jokes. I laugh my ass off all the time, and I'll be online and I'm reading people talk about the Cowboys, talk shit about them. And dude, I'm laughing my ass off, but I'll always be a Cowboys fan.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I mean, I've struggled through fucking 24 years of the Texans sucking balls. It's just, I mean, luckily this year we're one of the best teams in the league now, which is crazy. But we'll see what happens. We'll see if we make a run. But the thing is like shit talking is it's part of being a sports fan.
That's the fun of it, man. I mean, Dallas and Mikey, those guys are huge Texans fans. Man, me and Dallas got into it like a couple weeks ago. We were on the road on a Sunday driving back home. We had like a 4-hour drive back to Houston, and 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 we got two TVs in the van, and it's but both of them are connected, so we got to like only watch one game, and everybody else got to watch the games on their phone. So I'm logged in to I'm using my hotspot to watch the game. I'm a Cowboys fan, but then I'm using Dallas's grandma's DirecTV login. So I'm like, okay, what game we're gonna watch? Because the Cowboys and Texans are playing at the same time. So Dallas is like, put on Texans. I'm like, but I'm using my hotspot. Well, you using my grandma's login. I'm like, well, I don't know. So I mean, anyway, so just it was a little tit tat, and then I ended up being like, you know what? Here's a beer. I'm gonna drink a shot of whiskey. We'll watch the Texas game. I don't care, whatever. I'm not gonna argue with anybody about it, but it's just but I have enjoyed watching the Texans this year. CJ Stroud is a great quarterback. Y'all's defense is top notch, and y'all are looking like, I'm telling you, y'all are looking very, very good. I don't know if y'all are going to go Super Bowl this year, but I would say within the next 3 years, if the Texans stay healthy, with CJ Stroud being a young quarterback and that defense stays great, if their offensive line gets a little bit better, Texans are going to go Super Bowl for sure.
Well, here's the deal, man. This is the first time, and I'm I'm a legit fan. Like, I'm one of the guys that goes back, and I have the NFL Network. I pay the yearly thing, and I go back and watch like the all 22 or whatever it is, where you can go back and watch the different camera angles, and I break it down. Like, I'm a huge football nerd, right? I love it. The thing is, this is the first year that I'm not scared of any team. Like, the Texans, dude, we have made the best players in the league look like total fucking jokes this year, man. Josh Allen, go down the list of now the first 4 or 5 games were pretty rough for us. We started out 0-3, but man, it's I'm not scared of anybody. The Texans can beat anybody. Now, you have the any given Sunday situation where anybody can lose on any given Sunday, or win on any given Sunday. But I think the Texans can. I think they can win out. I think they can win every single game left. I think the hardest game we have left is we got to play. Who do we play? Well, this week we're playing the Raiders, which is a wash.
Oh yeah, the Raiders suck. Raiders suck.
Yeah,
Sorry, Ash. I gotta say sorry to my sister. She lives in Las Vegas. She's a big Raiders fan. Raiders suck.
But last week was the first time anybody even scored 20 on us. And last week's the first time
y'all played the Cardinals, man, and the Cardinals beat the Cowboys.
Yeah. Yeah. But dude, look at what we did to Josh Allen. We sacked Josh Allen 8 times, dude.
Yeah, y'all sacked the crap out of him, dude. He was he had nowhere. He was in the pocket for about half a second.
Yeah, no. So I'm super excited about the Texans, but also I don't put a whole lot of faith into it. I mean, I enjoy it. I'm a nerd about it, but I'm also like, if they lose, they lose. I'm not gonna lose sleep. I used to. It used to fuck up. If they lost on a Sunday, Brooke wouldn't even hang around me, like, for the next day or two, because I'd be in such a pissed off mood about it, But now I'm just like, fuck it. I don't let that shit bother me. Do you want to lose, whatever.
Man, I gave up getting pissed off about Cowboys losing a long time ago, because I'd be pissed off every Sunday. So, I'm not letting it ruin my life.
You know what's crazy? I was talking to my kid about this today, and he's got all his friends, and they live in that world where so and so's the best this and so and so's the best that. And I'm like, the problem is when you got guys like Dak Prescott and Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson and those guys, like, during the regular season, they put up these phenomenal numbers. Man, you guys have had great records in the regular season. but it's like you get to the playoffs and you just shit the bed.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's always been like that. It was like that under Romo. It's been like that under Dak. I think it's a coaching mentality, and all that boils up to the not down. It boils up to the top. That's Jerry Jones for you. I
Yeah,
think.
100%.
I mean, it's a Jerry Jones mentality game and an organization. I've been saying this for many years now. Cowboys will never win another Super Bowl under Jerry Jones.
Yeah, agreed.
It will never happen because unless unless he gets to the point where he's unable, he gets so old where he's unable to run the team, and Steven, his son's got to take over, and then hopefully he's smarter than his I think not smarter, has less ego than his
Right.
dad.
That's what happened with us, the Texans. Bob McNair was a lot like Jerry Jones. Now, Bob McNair wasn't the GM, but he had his hand in everything. And when he died and Cal McNair took over the team, I mean, I guess technically, you know, Bob McNair's wife is the owner of the team, but Cal McNair runs the football team. And man, they've like since that's happened, dude, they've made so many good decisions because I don't think that Cal McNair had the ego that Bob McNair had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, ego can hurt the team so much, man. It hurts the organization. That's what hurts the Cowboys is Jerry Jones' ego, and he's a businessman. I mean, he's a great owner. He's a horrible GM. Great owner, horrible GM.
Yeah, I mean they are it's the like third richest franchise in the world or some shit like that, or
No,
fifth richest franchise.
one.
No, it's number one in America. It is not. There's like 3 or 4 soccer teams that are worth more.
No.
Are you sure?
Google it.
Okay, I'm gonna AI this shit right now.
Dallas Cowboys are the richest
All right, hold up.
sports franchise in the world of any sport.
We're gonna talk to ChatGPT right now. Ready?
Ask it. We should make a bet on this.
What is number one sports franchise in the world value wise?
Right now, the most valuable sports franchise in the world is the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh,
sitting at about.
All right, get the fuck that's AI. It's fake. It's fake. It's AI. Well, hey, you're right. I'm wrong. I thought that there were like a few like soccer,
No,
cool.
Soccer. You might have like number 2 might be a soccer team. It might be like it might be. I think it's probably. I'm gonna guess it's Real Madrid. Probably is the number 2.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. What are the top 10 most valuable?
After that might be Chelsea.
Worldwide.
I would say Real Madrid. Yeah, I would say like Real Madrid, Chelsea. And then you might have the Los Angeles Chargers up there.
All right, here we go.
LA Chargers might be like the second NFL team.
What the? No way. Wait, hang on. This can't be. No, in the world.
Come on, AI. You're drinking all of our water. Answer the questions right.
Okay, so this is what it says. It says number 1, Dallas Cowboys. Number 2, Golden State Warriors. Number 3, Los Angeles Rams. Number 4, New York Giants.
Rams.
Number 5, Los Angeles Lakers. Number 6, New England Patriots. Number 7. Oh, they got Golden State Warriors on here twice.
What's number 2? Number 2 is a basketball team?
He's Golden State Warriors. That's what it says. Worth $11 billion. Dallas Cowboys $13 billion. Golden State Warriors $11 billion. So, man.
But so where's the soccer teams on that? There's got to be some soccer teams that are worth more than the Golden State Warriors.
So it says globally popular generally don't reach this is talking about European soccer clubs, while globally popular generally don't reach the financial valuations of the top U.S. teams. That's because, the United States is the United States. The average income of in the United States is like what, $41,000 or some shit like that, or 50, maybe, I don't know. But it's in the top 1%, or like if you make $30,000 in the United States, you're in like the top 1% of the world earner. Because the United States is just shit money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you would think that
Yeah.
there would be some kind of sports franchise in like Dubai or some shit.
Well, I definitely thought it would be some soccer teams in the top 5. That sounded crazy to me, but but you're all right. I mean, people spend money in the U.S. because they have the money to spend. Not that they don't in other countries, but it's just per capita, bigger GDP, they got more money to spend.
Yeah, 100%. So let's get off this bullshit. What do you guys got coming up? Are you got any new okay, I want to ask you this cuz I've been getting asked this a lot. Albums or singles?
Both. I think you do it this way. I think you record an album and then you pre-release your singles as grat tracks, and you pre-release them every 6 to 8 weeks. And I say that because, one, it keeps you on time, because if you have the album fully recorded, if you have the ability to record a full album, I say do that and then pre-release the grat tracks, because it keeps you honest, and it keeps everything kind of set in stone if everything's already recorded, where you can set it up like if you have a full like 10 if you have a 10 song album, for instance. Well, if you have it already recorded, the entire thing's done. It's already mixed, mastered. You've already got all the, you've already submitted everything to your distributor. Then you put out the songs every 6 to 8 weeks, and all the songs are there, so you don't have to like be like, and you just set the time frame when you submit it. So now you got 10 songs, and I think if you submit a 10-song album on most online distributors, whether you use like TuneCore or DistroKid or whatever, I think you can only grat track up to 50%. Yeah, you can half. So you can give yourself five songs over the course of 6 to 8 weeks. 6 to 8 weeks in between 5 songs. So that gets you like most of the way through the year, and then the album comes out, and then 5 songs, 4 or 5 songs drop the day the album comes out. I think that'd be the way to do it.
But that's if you're playing the Spotify game.
But I don't think that helps your. I don't think that helps you on Spotify. It does help you.
It's because every time a song hits, it hits like if you release one album at one time, it only hits the release radar at one time. But if you waterfall it or whatever it's called, every time a song drops, it hits that release radar. So instead of getting eyes on it one time, you're getting eyes on it 6 times for your followers.
That may be the case. I wasn't coming up from that point of view. I was just thinking about, like, I know how hard it is for artists to plan ahead. And I was thinking about, like, if you have the option, if you know you're going to put out music for the next year, and you have the ability to go into a studio, and that's hard to do too, man. It's financially, unless you're recording at your house, which you can these days, But I think planning ahead wise, it helps out to be able to do that. Now, we haven't done that since the first 2 albums, and then the next 2 albums, everything else was single, and then once we released like 10 singles or 12 singles, then we were like, all right, let's group all these together, and then that's going to be an album. So that's kind of how we did the last 2 albums. But the first 2 albums, so I want to go. What we're going to do is go back to like what we did in the first 2 albums and record the entire thing, and then just put it out as grat tracks. That way, when you log into whether it's Spotify, Apple Music, or Amazon or wherever, you can see the album, and then you can see the entire list of all the songs, and then everything's grayed out.
Yeah,
and then when one song's put out, you can listen to it, and then 6 to 8 weeks later, another song comes out, you can listen to that one. And what that does too is it builds up anticipation for the album, and then it allows you to schedule your year worth of releases, because it's I would rather do that one time. I would rather sit down and schedule a year's worth of releases once than have to every 6 to 8 weeks be like, okay, we got to make sure that we submit this on time. We got to find new artwork. We got to do all this, like, so I would say do both. And that's the way to do both. It's easier on the artist because it's one artwork, it's one graphic, and then it's, you don't have to do 10 different graphics for every single, cover art. And then you can schedule your whole year out. That's
Yeah.
how we're going to do it moving forward because it's just easier. We can plan better.
Yeah. See, I'm going to go at it the opposite way. What I'm going to, and I'm not trying to tell anybody else to do this because like I said, I'm going for peace, and I'm now releasing my art because I want to, not because I feel like I'm trying to get famous. What I'm going to do is I'm going to record an album a year, right? And I'm going to drop the album. And then every 6 to 8 weeks after that, I'm going to drop an alternate version of something that's on the album. So like I'm going to say, here it is, like album's out, go check it out. And then what I'm going to do is every 6 to 8 weeks, I'm going to take all 10 songs or 12 songs or how many ever it is. And I'm going to do like an acoustic version of a song, or I might do just a piano version of a song, or I might do, hey, Chad, dude, I got this song on the record. You want to release a duet with it? Let's do it. It's a party song. Let's do it. You know what I mean? I think that's the way I'm going to do it, just to kind of just try something new, something different. Because that's kind of the way my heroes used to do it. Like my heroes used to drop a full album, and then they would drop a single off the album. Then it would have 2 other songs on that single, right? It would have 3 songs or whatever. Remember those days where you would have like Pearl Jam would release 10, and then they would release a single of Jeremy, and then on Jeremy it would be 2 unreleased songs on that. And so I'm gonna kind of do. I think I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna get away from the streaming thing. Also, what I'm gonna do is instead of dropping my album immediately, I'm gonna wait like 6 months. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sell physical copies at my show and be like, hey, this is the only way to get the record. And then maybe 6 months after that, and I've recouped some of my costs, and then I'll drop it on all the DSPs. Like that's the way I'm looking at it. But I think the one thing about the music business is that anybody that thinks they know how it should work, there's no way. There's no right way to do any of it.
There's no right. That's what I was going to say. There's no right way to do anything. And I think anybody that's an artist, you're an artist. Put out your music the way you want to put out your music. I mean, nobody's right, nobody's wrong. And you can take people's opinion on and advice on things, but that comes from their experience and things like that. So I mean, hell, I really like your idea about the I've never heard of anybody doing that before recently, but I like the idea of recording the album and putting it out for 6 months or whatever, like selling the physical album, and then whether it's a vinyl record or whether it's a CD or whatever, selling that and saying this is the only way you can listen to it for the next 6 months, or you can wait 6 months and listen to it. But that's a pretty cool idea too. I wonder if there was a way you could do that digitally too somehow, to where you could be like, okay, like a QR code thing or something where you have to still purchase it, but maybe it was, or something like that.
I'm pretty sure you can put your song on iTunes without making it available on Apple Music. I'm pretty sure you can do that.
Or you can even on like your website and stuff these days, there's ways you can like put your music on there with like different codes where there will like each QR code is an individual code for a download or something like that. Because I mean, we do live in 2025, and people, most cars don't have CD players, and you want to give people a way to actually listen to it. Now, like vinyl records do really well, but that's only for people who are like more collectors, or they want to hang something on the wall. But that's a really cool idea, man. Holding off on the album release digitally, but allowing people to get it, but they can only get it if they, I don't know. That's a cool idea.
You can go to my website and listen to it. I'll have the tracks on my website.
Or that, exactly.
You can go listen to it, but you can only listen to it from the website.
You can't download it.
Yeah, you can't download it. You can listen to it. So if you want to go listen to it, go listen to it. Like
that would drive that would drive a lot more traffic too.
Yeah. So I'm just kind of looking at it that way. But again, man, I'm not doing it anymore. Like when I say that I don't care about the vanity metrics, I legit don't give a shit about the vanity metrics. Everything I'm doing is because I want to do it. These podcasts, I'm doing them the way I want to do it. And I'm doing them because I enjoy talking to people and getting to know people. I enjoyed this conversation. We didn't even talk a lot about music. We talked about AI. We're just two friends catching up, and talking shit. And that's like to me, that's what it should be about, right? Because here's the thing, and if we're all honest, let's just be really honest with ourselves, right? Is what we're putting out as our art, is it really that different? Is it really that special? I know it is to us, but like to me, if you really want to make a real difference and you want to make a run, you got to do something that no one else is doing. Like you got to be a Steven Wilson Jr. That guy is different than anybody else out there. You got to be
I love his stuff because he is so different. Yeah.
you got to be a Zach Bryan. Like Zach Bryan was so different. Now there's a million Zach Bryans, but I'm saying when Tyler Childers came out, he was the only one that sounded that way. You know what I'm saying? Now once somebody pops off, you get a ton of copycats. But like when I look at people like especially like my music, I kind of look at it and be like, man, is what I'm doing not just the songwriting, but the production? Like, is it really that special? Is it? And maybe some songs are. Maybe the answer to that is yes, maybe it's no. But to me, like I see a lot of people just kind of doing the same thing that other people are doing. And that's why I'm trying to think outside the box, doing these house concerts. I'm doing these free house concerts. And dude, I'm telling you, I've done 11 of them and they've been like my soul is full. You know what I mean? They've made me fall all completely back in love with music again. And so, but it's because I'm doing different stuff. I'm doing it different than anybody else that I know is doing it. Like when I do a house concert, I make a post and I say, "Hey, I need to find a host that wants to host a house concert on this day, but it's a 90-minute set of my choice, no requests. And if I'm not the center of attention, I'm leaving."
Yeah, that's badass.
And dude, I've done a lot of them, and every single one has been just as good or better than the last. And I've also made almost $11,000 doing it. So it's like just off tips because people are so fucking thankful that you're because it's like I I can go to the bar and I can drink someone else's beer and pay, you know, 60% more than what I'm paying at home. I can go eat somebody else's food. I got to deal with the door guy. I got to deal with the fucking bathroom lines. I got to deal with the loud ass people. I got to deal with the, blah, 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 blah. Or man, you're going to come to my house and you're going to play music for me at my house and I can drink my own beer and I can drink my own food. Fuck yeah, dude. Here you go. Here's $100. You know what I mean? And the next thing you know, your tip jar's full.
Fuck yeah.
And so I'm just trying to find ways to connect on like a human level more with people, and so I'm going to do that same thing with my art. I really don't want a stranger I don't know downloading my art from social media. Like I want someone, like I want to give them an album. I want to say here's my album. You know what I mean? Because I want that human experience of getting to know them and then checking in with them a week later and be like, "Hey, what did you think?" You know what I mean? Because I want to connect on a human level. Fuck all this digital shit, dude. I'm done with it. Like I just don't care. But that's me. I know there's a bunch of people that's not their path.
Right. Hey, let me take a quick leak break.
Okay.
And I'm gonna grab another beer as well.
You can end it right here if you want to, man. We can.
No, we got. No, I want to keep talking. I just want to take a leak real quick, and I'm gonna grab another beer.
All right, well, go grab a beer. Go take a pee pee. I'm not editing this out. So
we'll keep this in. All right.
All right.
Leak break.
While Chad goes and pees, I'm gonna sit here and talk about boogers. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know what I'm gonna talk about. I did rearrange my studio though, so I don't know if you can see what's going on. I don't know if it's probably just me at this point, but I kind of put my desk over on this wall so that way all the cool stuff's behind me as opposed to my desk was on that wall. Oh, look at my new camera is AI. Look at that. Look. Look, it follows me. Look at that shit. What? Wild, huh? Fucking AI. Let's see if I stand up. Let's see. Ready? Here we go. Oh, it didn't follow me. You bitch. It's supposed to follow me. They didn't follow me. God, how long is a peasy taking? I guess I will edit this out. I guess I'm gonna have to edit this shit out, I guess. Dadgummit. Hey, he's back.
And we're
I was
back.
showing everybody my fancy new webcam, dude. Check it out.
Oh, that's awesome. What is that called? What is that webcam called?
It's called I don't know. I'll text you after I get off here. I have to look at the app.
So it just follows your is like facial recognition, just follows your face.
Yeah, and if I stand up and stuff, it's supposed to follow me too. It didn't just now, but I think if I like hold my hand up or something, it turns that off or something. I don't know. I didn't read the manual. I just plugged the bitch in and started going.
Well, looks like we're pretty good after right out of the box.
Yeah. I finally got everything kind of set up cool. You know, I got my studio here. I got this is my room, and this is kind of like my place where I go to get away from everything and do lives and all that stuff. You know.
Got a cool vibe in there.
Yeah, it just sucks because my bar sign behind me, I had to give the power supply to Pacific Yard House because theirs went out. So I grabbed that one and took it up there. So now I don't now my bar sign doesn't work, but it looks cool though. Oh shit. I don't know how this thing works. There should be a button to like disengage it, right? Oh, that's it.
Mine does the same thing. I can take my laptop. Mine does the same thing. See, I can take my laptop and I go like this. I move it this way. Look at that. That's pretty badass.
But it's not AI driven. Mine is AI, dog.
See my lawnmowers over here. That's my yard work. We're talking about landscaping earlier. It's my lawnmowers. I got 7 rental properties, and no one else is gonna mow them. I'll mow them. And I'll move this way. Look at this. This is awesome. Now it's getting out of control. I gotta set the algorithm thing on this thing. I don't know what's going on.
Hey, good old AI cameras, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Man, I need to start getting stoned when I do these things. That's what I need to do. Just get stoned and sit back and vibe out.
Yeah.
I really, to be honest with you, this is the longest one I've done. These virtual ones, I usually try to cut them, an hour and a half.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But dude, man, like, I love you and I love hanging out with you and I love talking to you. Like every time we talk, we just have dude, I tell her about all the time. I was like, Chad's one of those guys that'll call me at 2:00 in the morning sometimes.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And it's just like, just not, not because you need anything, not because of,
just a chat, man.
Yeah, just to check up. And I know you've called me a few times to check on me, which is cool. But it's cool, man, because I have a few people that are like that. I call my buddy Austin Bradshaw. He used to play guitar for me in the band, and I haven't talked to him in a while. And this year I've been dealing with getting over a whole lot of stuff and kind of trying to get through some stuff. And I just called him and I was like, "Hey, bro, what's up?" He's like, "What's going on?" And I was like, "Oh man, I didn't need shit. I just called to just see how you're doing, dude. I miss you and just seeing how you're doing." And we had about a 30 or 45-minute conversation. It was great. But those are kind of things that I can do now because I'm not so inundated mentally with this, my brand. I was so singular thinking all the time, like just blinders on. And now it's like, nah, dude, I'm on my way home from work. I'm gonna call buddy and just kind of catch up. I'm not even thinking about what I need to do to stoke the algorithm or what. And I have so many songs written, dude, like that I need to record. So many. It's crazy. Like the best stuff I've ever written. And so I'm super stoked to get started on this record. My buddy Johnny Woods. Do you know Johnny Woods?
Yeah. I got a Johnny Woods T-shirt. I swear all the time. We played a show with him over in it was a West Texas barbecue bash, and He opened up the show. Super cool dude. We did
Phenomenal.
we did a t-shirt swap. That was my first time meeting him, and just super cool dude, man. And I was like, dude, I'm gonna wear that. I love the t-shirt too. Like, you ever get a t-shirt from like, or like this hat right here? Like, I got this hat from we went to Alaska and played a couple shows, and the guy that opened up for us, Ken Pelt, it's Ken Peltier. It's how do you say it? It's weird. It's Peltier. Ken Peltier. They opened up for us. Nicest human being on planet Earth. I'm telling you. And that's how I felt about Johnny, man. Johnny Woods was a great dude. And I was like, and he gave us a t-shirt, and the t-shirt fit really well too. And it was like nice. And it was like, this is soft, you know? And so I love getting like merchandise from like bands and stuff like that. And doing like swaps and stuff like that.
That's Neil
Yeah.
McCoy. That's
Is
low
that?
down. I bet I
Yep.
have. I'm not even kidding. I bet I have 10 Chad Cooke shirts.
Hell yeah.
Because
Dude,
every time I buy one, every single
Yeah.
time I buy.
Dude, I love that, man. I've seen a couple of your videos you'll do or whatever. You're wearing a CCB hat or T-shirt or something, man. I always appreciate the love on that, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, dude.
I gotta get some Jeff Canada swag, man. I'd wear the hell out of it.
Dude, I don't have much left. I did just announce a shirt. I was trying to sell them for $50 a piece to kind of help support the record. But only 3 people bought them, and so I'm gonna knock it down to 35, and maybe they'll buy it for that. But it says STFU and listen,
Yeah,
you know, and
like Do.
yeah, that's why I did it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. I'm gonna start releasing some cool new ideas, but they're gonna be online only. I'm not gonna buy merch and take to shows anymore, do none of that shit, just because. Man, I don't want to deal with it. What I want to do is, like I said, man, it's like I'm looking for peace. What I want to do is I want to go to a venue, I want to load in, I want to play my show, and I want to load out, and I want to hang out with folks. I don't want to be worried about the Stripe, or whatever the Square app, and is it connecting, and I don't want to be worried about, oh, well, I don't have any larges, so sorry, I don't have any larges in that size. I just don't want to deal with any of that shit. Like, here's my website. You want to buy something, go to my website. Like, it's that easy. And it's not because that obviously is our second biggest money making thing is merch. It's shows first, merch second. Sometimes it's merch first, shows second, but it's either 1A or 1B, the way we make money. But to me, it's not worth it. It's not worth the headache, because I'm not going to take somebody to go sell it for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you got to pay him, and also like all the overhead. There's a lot of overhead when it comes to like keeping everything in stock, and that's one thing that we have to deal with a lot. Is we have a pretty good merch provider, but it's like constantly. And thank God, Matt, our merch guy, does a really good job keeping track of all that, because it's a lot, man. I mean, it's like every 2 months he's calling me, and we have a meeting, or like a merch meeting every 2 months. It's like, okay, what we got to restock up on, what we low on, like, okay, do we want new designs and stuff like that, but it's just another part of the industry. And merch is a very important part. And because I love band merch. I love buying band. If I go see a show, I'm buying band merch. If I go, meet another artist or whatever, I'm like, hey, can we do a swap? Like, I'll give you some swag. If you'll give me some swag, I was like, I'll wear it, because I hate shopping, dude. I hate shopping. I don't remember the last time I literally walked into a store and I'm like, I'm gonna go buy some clothes. I mean, I know my pants size, so like if I need pants, I'll just go online and order my size, and they get shipped to my house. But I do not like walking in the store and shopping. My wife, on the other hand, she loves it. So I'm like, hey, if you see something that you like from me, like, go ahead and get it or whatever. But I'm like, but literally, I'm wearing the same clothes. I literally have shirts that I had 10, 20 years ago that I'll still wear, as long as there's not a bunch of holes in them, but I am not picky on clothes at all. But I like band merch, because most of the time it's like good, good quality stuff, and it's soft and stuff,
Yeah, for sure, man. I use a lot of the band merch shirts for Jack Rags, and they're great for that. They're great for Jack Rags.
The bands you don't like, or what?
Oh, the ones I loved.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, a lot of love. You just got a lot of love.
Been one out.
Got a lot of love to give.
And Cooke shirt.
I did notice last time you were in the CCB shirt, it looked a little sticky on one side, a little crusty. It's like, damn, he should have watched that before he did this podcast.
Oh, God damn, that is funny shit right there, dude. And it's funny because it's true.
Because it's true. Oh, the best jokes are, man. It's funny because it's true.
Uh, holy shit. I think that might be the first time I've ever referenced masturbation on this podcast, but that's funny shit right there, dude. That is funny, funny, funny stuff. Holy crap.
And don't act like y'all don't do it.
Oh, man. See, you can't have moments like that if you're not doing stuff like this. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I live for, dude. It's like every podcast I do, there's always some kind of a moment that was like, that's it. That was worth it. That right there, that was worth it. You know? I'm really enjoying this thing. I like the new platform. It's a lot easier. It looks clean. Uh, it does all the like here we are. I'm embracing AI. It does all the editing for me. It does all the clips, everything. I just go in and kind of, edit the clips a little bit to kind of take out spaces and stuff. But it's fantastic. And it's going to allow me to do a lot more people. Like I said, I just had John Brennan from season 2 of The Real World. I couldn't have done that. I couldn't have done that doing the whole in-person thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Well, good, man. I'm glad it's working out. It looks cool on here, man. I've never heard of the Riverside thing, but Riverside FM. But,
Yeah, there's multiple things out there like this. But the cool thing about it is like I can now it's just a conversation. So I can do this if I want to, I can do it every day. I can and if I want to, I can go in this app and just do a solo. I'm gonna start doing a lot of solo episodes too, man. I got a lot of stuff I want to talk about. I want to start doing like 30-minute solo episodes by myself where I'm just talking about random shit. I'm having a blast with it, man. Everything in life is good right now. It took me a while. I really lost myself when I was with Candace. Um, I kind of just lost myself. Like everything was so heavy and negative, and it took me a few months to kind of just get out of that whole thing. And now, dude, I'm thriving, bro, and it's awesome. It's awesome. I'm probably the happiest I've ever been in my life right now, which is cool.
that's great to hear, man. You should be happy. You deserve to be happy, and
Thanks, buddy.
so it's good to hear that you're doing great. Your kid's doing great.
Yeah.
And so hey, what more can you ask for, bro?
What I was gonna tell you is Johnny Woods. Johnny's gonna produce my record, so Johnny's gonna produce my album for me, and he's gonna record it there in studio. And I told him this is what I want, and this stuff I've produced everything I've released up until this point. I basically said I don't even want to have anything to do with it. Like I want you to go ahead and get the music recorded, and I just want to come in and sing it. And like I want to trust you that much as a producer to make these things.
So what are you gonna do? Are you gonna like send them like a rough track on your phone and be like, here's the chord, like just like record that, and then they're gonna do the music part, and then go in and record vocals, or what?
So what I've been doing is this is where the AI thing is actually pretty cool, right? And people can get mad at me for this. I give no fucks. What I do now is I take the song and I record it acoustic just into my voice recorder, right? And then I put that in a Dropbox folder. And then what I'll do is I'll go on Suno and I'll upload that. I'll upload my voice and the guitar, right? So it's me into Suno, and I'll
Yeah.
be like, okay, give me 3 different versions of this song in an Americana style, and I want to hear one version with pedal steel. I want to hear one version with fiddle. I want to hear one version with just guitars, electric guitars. I want to hear, I want one version to have female harmonies. I want other to have male harmonies. And then what I'll do is I'll kick that out, and what I'll do is I'll take all of those and I'll dump those into that same Dropbox folder. Right? And then I'll send that, and then that's the plan. And then I'll send that to him and be like, these are kind of things I like about this and things I don't like about that. Now, we're not using AI to produce the song, not even a little bit. But what it does, it allows you to kind of do some pre-production and to kind of hear what the song's going to sound like with a fiddle on it. You know what I mean? Then I'm going to hire a real fiddle player to play a real fiddle part, whatever they want. But at least it gets me to it allows me to kind of hear what the vibe of the song is going to be. Does that make sense?
No, it makes sense, 100% sense, because that's exactly.
It's still my melody, still my guitar part. It's still I wrote 100% of the song. I'm not using. What's this?
I was so yeah. So this is Suno,
Yeah.
and I've been doing a lot of songwriting, and so I love that because I do the same thing. So I'll write a song and then upload it, and then just ask it. I'll say, like you said, give me a alternate, alt country, Americana, folk, whatever. You ask whatever vibe you want. So just have all these different tracks in here, but just to give you, yeah. So I love what you're doing because I think that's a cool thing about AI with music is it can give you a really cool take on your song, especially like last night. Me and my buddy Brandon wrote a song, and we didn't write the song to the guitar. I was sitting in this barn. I had no guitar on me. I was sitting out here just hanging out and with my dog, and then he called me and he had a song. And he's like, "Hey man, I got a song I want to show you." So he sent me the lyrics, and then we kind of picked around the lyrics on our. We had a shared note on our phone, and then we did that for, I don't know, 30, 45 minutes. And I was like, all right, cool. I said, are you good with this? And we kind of hummed it out in our head a little bit, but we didn't have a medley at all. And then I put it in a Suno, and I was like, give me this, I put the style in, but all the lyrics that we wrote, and then it gave me 2 versions of it. And then we didn't really like the first 2, so I tweaked it a little bit, and it gave me 2 more. And then the next one was like, okay, this is really cool. This is like, okay, that's exactly what we're kind of thinking,
Yeah.
And so yeah, so that is a great thing. But I would never, like you said, I would not do that and take those parts and put them out. But as an artist, it gives you kind of a different perspective, an outside perspective on your song, and a melody and different fiddle parts or guitar parts or whatever,
Or keys. You
that,
can hear it in different keys that I actually have sat there and recorded in different keys. You can just, hey, well, let me hear that in A instead of D, or whatever. Yeah, it's got some very, very cool tools. And I'm not against AI. That's not what I'm against. What I'm against is you fucking going, some dipshit who has no musical knowledge or whatever goes into these apps and types in a few prompts, make me a song about a blah blah blah, and then they release it onto fucking Spotify as their own art. And that's the shit I have a problem. You know what I mean? I don't really like people that use fully AI artwork. Like, it's cool to use some elements of it. It's cool to do it to get some ideas, but man, like, it's cheesy looking. It just doesn't look. You know what I mean? You could tell that it's AI. You know?
I'm less concerned personally with AI artwork than I am AI songs, because artwork, dude, does not matter.
It
Artwork
does to me. It does to me personally.
doesn't.
Like,
Yeah,
me, if you go and you look at my artwork, you can tell that I had a very, very, very set way that I wanted the artwork to be up until my artwork got, retired. Now I kind of just do it all myself, but I do it with different stuff. I don't use AI for it. Um,
I mean,
but yeah,
if you're using
it's,
AI to like,
yeah, but to me it
yeah,
is.
yeah. I think, and that's probably what it is. Like, to an artist, it is, but to most
Right.
people that are listening to the song, they want to hear the song. And I'm not trying to promote AI artwork, but I just think what I'm if an artist wants to put out something fast or whatever, and they want to use AI to just do the AI artwork, then whatever. I mean, because as long as a song is not AI, I don't think anybody should worry about whether the artwork they used AI for an artwork piece or something like that.
Yeah.
No,
It's me personally, just
yeah.
because I'm a huge fan of art. Like, the whole reason I got into this is because I'm a huge fan of art.
But most artists, that's what I'm saying. Most artists don't even create their own artwork. I mean, they use some outside. They got to pay $300 to $500 to
Yeah.
somebody else to create their artwork. So I'm saying, as a musician, most musicians are creating the music, right? They're doing the song, they're making the song. But if you want to pay somebody $300 to $500 to go and make your artwork for you, cool. If not, use AI.
Let me tell you something, bro. Us musicians, have been getting fucking fleeced for decades. when it comes to photography, when it comes to videography, when it comes to artwork, when it comes to logos, when it comes to studio time. We have been getting
all the money we're spending for each and every one of those things. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. It
Yeah.
takes $2,000 to record a song, takes another $300 of the artwork, takes another blah, 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 blah. You go down the list. Next thing you know, you're 15 grand into one fucking song.
Yeah.
And, and there's like a ton of there's one photographer. She is in my area, and she's like one of the biggest gatekeeping fucking cunts there is out there, dude. And it agitates me to no end, because every time somebody new gets a camera, she wants to fucking bark at them. Every time somebody uses AI, she wants to bark at them, but she's not even that good at what she does anyway. So it's like, shut up. You've been these people have been charging us thousands of dollars for this stuff, and now we can do it on our own. So I'm going to do it on my own. Leave me alone.
Yeah,
I don't use, but I use different filter systems through, Photoshop and all these other different apps and stuff to make a picture look the way I want to make it look. And I'm not going to hear any bullshit about it.
Yeah.
Period.
Well, and you shouldn't. And I think most artists should not worry about that. I mean, when it comes to making the art, which is the musician art, the music, make the music, because people are going to start realizing really quickly the difference between AI music and actual music, because they're not going to. It doesn't feel the same.
It doesn't have art.
But whenever, as far as everything else goes, save your money. I mean, back in the day when record labels owned the distribution and you could not put songs out on anywhere, back when the only way to get a song was you had to put it out on. You had to send it to a record label, get a record deal, and they had to put it in, a store, CDs in the stores and stuff like that. Well, those days are over with, because what happened was, streaming came along, and then so now it's the same thing with like making your artwork, just if you can save money as an artist, save money, and like most artists don't do creative, like cover art. They're not making album artwork, and they got to hire somebody to do it, or take band photos and stuff like that. Thank God, iPhones these days are pretty good. Like you can record a music video on an iPhone if you want, and do it.
Yeah, I recorded one for Bubba Wesley 100% on my iPhone. Now I have a really legit cinema camera, but I've gotten a lot better at that. Like I kind of take pride in doing as much stuff as I can myself, as creative as I can. I really do. I take pride in coming up with some really cool artwork and doing it with different things, different imagery or whatever. I really do. The music videos and all that stuff. I take a lot of pride in what I put out there, and most of it I'm doing on my own, and I'm pretty proud of that. Like videos and all that stuff, video editing, everything I'm doing on my own. I don't send that out to anybody anymore. And so I'm pretty proud of that. And I don't use AI at all on most of that, on any of that stuff. But that's a me thing, it's like, to me, it's the total package, right? It's everything all together. And I want it to be me. I don't want it to be somebody else. That's just me.
Yep. Hell yeah.
All right, brother. We've been going for almost 2 hours. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to get off this thing, and I'm going to let you go hang out with that. Oh, I guess your pretty wife's probably already asleep.
Oh, they're asleep, man. Yeah, actually, I'm gonna grab my guitar and I'll probably stay here for a while and do some writing or something. Who knows? Drink some more cold Miller Lite.
Let's do this. Let's shut the podcast down, because we can still hang out here, and let's pull the guitars out, and let's see if we can let's maybe see if we can write a little something.
Let's do that.
You want to do that?
Oh yeah.
All right. Fuck y'all. We're out of here. Just kidding. All right, man. Well, thanks for being on. I love you, buddy. And like I said, the cool thing is we don't have to do these big long episodes. We can do one of these every couple months if we want to, just for an hour or whatever, or even 30 minutes. It doesn't matter. Like we can do whatever we want.
Sounds good to me. Yeah, I love it, man. Thanks for having me on.
And I want all the other dudes on here too, man. I can't wait to get them on here. I know Dallas and I recorded an episode in real life too, and that didn't that never got aired either. So I'm going to get Dallas on here too. I definitely want KP on here. Definitely want Mikey on. I want Matt on here. I love Matt. Matt, no offense,
dude.
Matt might be my favorite person in your camp.
Dude, I would, if you got Matt on this episode, I mean, I love all the other guys, but I'm telling you, that would be probably, out of all of us, the one that I would like to watch the most, because that guy is so freaking funny. He's got so many stories he can tell from the road, but he's going to tell them in a very different perspective.
Yeah.
very different perspective than the rest of us, because he's the one. Yeah, he's the one that's that the sober guy that's got a he drinks beer, but he's gonna tell it from a different perspective than us for sure. He's like because he's gonna be
Yeah.
like, screw those guys. I don't even like him, but I work with him.
Yeah. Well, you know, what's cool about him is like he really supports me a lot. Like he has come out to shows before when y'all weren't on the road and I was playing. He's showed
He's a
up to.
great dude, man. He's a great dude. He's got a big heart. He's one of the biggest hearts out there, dude.
I love that dude. All right, man, let's get out of here.
All right,
All right.
thanks.
Peace.